Good morning. Good morning. It's a very bright Saturday morning. Today we're going to start first by doing our self-introduction. So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Constance Onyemichi. I work for Women and Girls with Albinism Network. I'm a co-host for Bold Hearts Network, and I'm also a person with albinism.
My name is Ave Aiki. I work with Hope Alive for Possibilities Initiative. I am an amputee physical disability based here in Abuja. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Roslyn from Women and Girls with Albinism in Abuja. Thank you.
My name is Grace Oluwatosin Abolumate and Adebayo. Okay, so I'm based in Ogun State. I'm a gospel music minister. I am challenged at for arms, and I am also a disability rights advocate. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name is Freki Andrew Essian. I'm based in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State. I use a wheelchair for spinal cord injury, the Executive Director of Wake Foundation and Coordinator of the Heart Initiative. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Thank you all very much for joining in. So like we all know, the month of March, we celebrate the International Women's Day, March 8th. And for this year, the campaign theme for this year is Embrace Equity. And that's what we're going to talk about, Embrace Equity. So the first question is, what exactly do you understand by the word equity? Not equality, but equity. So I'll start from myself. For me, what I understand by equity is, equity to me means fairness and justice. Being fair, knowing that everybody is not on that equal path, but you have to be fair to strike a balance. That is what I understand by equity.
Equity to me means equal rights, equal opportunities that should be there for everyone, irrespective of your gender or disability.
All right. 2 key words. Equal rights, equal opportunity for everyone, irrespective of any form of disability.
Okay, so equity is an act of being impartial. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
It's an act of being impartial and fair. Impartial.
Oh, okay. Being partial and fair. Over to you, Ms. Freki. Can you please tell us what you understand by equity?
Okay, so what Grace said, thank you, Constance. What Grace said was impartial. Because if you say partial, that means you're doing partiality. But so she said impartial. So I believe I'm to tie the definitions together, because it's important that we really do understand what equity is and we do not mix it up with equality, because they tend to be used interchangeably but are not the same thing. In fact, the move to or the focus on equity this year is because of the challenges that highlighting equality only brings to the table. So when you hear the word equity, like Constance said, it speaks to fairness. So what equity does is that it recognizes diversity. It recognizes it and provides speaking to one's diversity. That's what equity does. I'm hoping there's a space where we can speak to the differences. So you won't hear me say equal opportunity. No, I won't say that. I would say that it is fairness that recognizes diversity and speaks to the diversity or the dynamism of every unique entity.
Thank you, Freki. Thank you. That was a very robust and, she had to put the the definitions together, and she also separated equity from equality, so we know the differences.
No, okay. It's important for us to really differentiate between equity and equality. It's a key point it's International Women's Day. So before we go to speak to the benefit of equity, I think it would be okay to actually speak to the differences between the two of them. Okay, so speaking to the difference, like I said that the reason why equity is kind of the focus, because when it comes to the space of social change, we continue to go in our understanding of the needs of persons, and understanding the needs or where people need to be at per time helps with doing a lot of targeted advocacy and awareness and speaking to the issues. So why equity and why is it a bit different from inequality? It's simply recognizing that not two persons are the same. When you speak about equality, what really happens at the end of the day is that you're providing an equal opportunity to everyone, irrespective of what their specific needs may be. So the one example that is used is, think about a fence. Everybody has a fence in their house. And then you have three people of varying height who need to see over that fence. Basically, let's say they need to watch a match, but they need the need that is there is that they need to see over the fence. And at that stage, all of them cannot see over the fence. They are of varying height. One is on a wheelchair, or one is a short person of short stature, a little person. The other person is average height, the person is really tall. What equality would do is that it will provide them with the same height of box, because it's providing them an equal opportunity. It provides them with something that allows them to be able to climb and see over. But if it doesn't speak to their specific needs and provides them with that equal size of box, what simply happens is that they would only rise or aspire to the availability of opportunity that is made for them. And usually that's equality does. But with equity, it will provide specifically to the needs or to the height needs of those three individuals. So the opportunity that would be provided for them will not be the same height of box. Rather, the focus is these people want to see over the fence, and it provides to ensure that each of them, irrespective of whether it's a ladder you need now, or if you use just a stepping stone, it now provides what you need to be able to achieve seeing over the fence. So that is the difference between equity and equality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Becky, for that very succinct explanation, trying to let us understand the difference between equality and equity. So in simple parlance, equality is providing the same services for all. That is equality. But equity is recognizing that all persons do not start at the same point. So there should be adjustments when it comes to imbalances. So thank you so much, Becky. Back to you, Ave. I would like to know, because we keep shouting as women equity. As you can see, we are all women on this live. So we can talk about what are the benefits of having or creating or projecting an equitable society. Over to you, Ave.
When equity is projected in a community or in a space, you see that there is unity and there's productivity, increased productivity, because just like we differentiate between equality and equity, if this opportunity is created on the same level, not taking account of the diversity in the people you are creating this equality, it will still not make sense, because not everybody will benefit from it. But if if opportunities, if there is equity in a community or in an environment or in a country, before that equity is being provided, its account has been taken on the different diversity of people that needs this equity. As for example, like in the disability community we are right now, we have different clusters of disability. So if for instance, if sign language is made available and you feel that you have provided results for all clusters of disability, then you lied, because you have just taken one care of just a cluster of disability. But in a situation where all clusters of disability are being studied and you see the need of each cluster and you make it available, that's everybody will go back, or everybody will operate more productively because there is equity in the community.
Oh, thank you so much, Ave. She just said when there's equity, it increases productivity and also enhances unity amongst people. Afyong and Vivian just joined us, so I would like to throw the question to them. First, please introduce yourself. Then the question is, what are the benefits of having an equitable society? So Afyong, over to you.
Hello, good morning, everybody. It's good to be here once again. Forgive my lateness. My name is Afyong Etim. I'm a medical lab scientist. I'm based in Uyo, and I'm also a member of Bold Hearts Initiative. I use a wheelchair for spinal cord injury. So, as to the benefits of living in an equitable society, one of such benefits, especially for women, would be that more and more women would have, access to opportunities in whatever fields of endeavor that they desire. They would have access to more opportunities. There wouldn't be professions where, that are patriarchal in nature, where they say it's only for men. It's only men that can do this. In an equitable society, women would be judged not based on their gender, but they would be judged based on their abilities, their qualifications. They would be judged based on what they are capable of achieving, not just based on, oh, she's a woman, which is what has often hindered us. So in an equitable society, we would be given the same chances as our male counterparts, and we would also, have access to the opportunities that our male counterparts have. The same, the same parameters used to, assess them would also be extended to the women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afyong. Thank you for that very solid point. It will create more opportunities for women in all fields without relegating and say, okay, the woman is supposed to study education while the man should go and become an engineer. No. An equitable society will ensure that women have access just as the same as men. Thank you so much.
My name is Vivian Ezonwume. I'm the chairperson Anambra State Albinism Association, and also the albinism unit in the Anambra State Disability Rights Commission. So on the topic at hand, we are talking about the benefits of equity in the society. Yes. One of the benefits, let me not repeat what others have said. One of the major benefits is this: it encourages people to try. What do I mean by this? People have this premonition that why should I go to school when after going to school there is no job? But in a situation, in a society where there is equity, there is job for everybody, both the rich, both the poor, both the women, both the men. You will see that women will be encouraged to try to bring out their best, to go to school. They will be motivated. There will be this motivation for self-development. people will be eager to bring out their best because their best will be acknowledged and they'll be useful in the society. Then another advantage of it is it creates room for unity. What do I mean by this? We're a situation whereby women are not sidetracked or are not included. Let me say inclusivity in the part of the women. It will cause. That's why they have all this demonstration. You see people agitating for this. We need this. We need this. But in a society where there is equity, women are taken care of. Their needs are being met. That of every other, even women with disability, even others, even the youths. You see that there will be unity in that society. That's all for now.
Thank you so much, Vivian. You said when you create an equitable society, it encourages people to try. It motivates them to do better. And I agree with you on that. I really do agree with you. Oluwatomisi just joined us. Introduce yourself and give us, an answer, one or two.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, my name is Oluwatomisi Adiefa. I'm a broadcast journalist based in Abeokuta, the state capital of Ogun State. I'm also a gender and disability rights advocate and a visually impaired person. The benefits of equity in our society. I like to say that equity fosters development. So when you have a society where whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're a man, a woman, young and old, you have equal platform, you have equal access to opportunities, to emoluments, to amenities and all of that. You see that it fosters development in such a way that there's this popular adage that says 2 good heads are better than one. So it means that if we all have access, if we all have opportunity to grow, we can do better. We can foster innovation. We can always bring our ideas together, join it, bring your own, bring my own, talk from different angles, and then we reach that point where everything goes on smoothly. So equity fosters development. And in an equitable society, you have peace.
Yeah, peace.
In an equitable society, there is peace. I mean, people are not going to war. People are not fighting. There's less agitation that could lead to riot or that could, break out, in a full-blown war of words or war of machines. And so an equitable society also fosters peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adi. Tommy Singh, thank you so much for that addition. You said equity fosters development and also brings peace. And I agree with you on that. Over to you, Grace.
Okay, so for me, it gives room for inclusion, especially for persons with disabilities. It gives room for inclusion for persons with disabilities generally, not just women alone now, both children, people and adults. And then it gives voice to everyone where you can speak, you can give out your opinion, and then it can be considered. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Inclusion, very important, very key, very key. Seeing how our society is structured to only favor some certain set of people, but when there's equity, it brings inclusion. Thank you so much, Grace. Over to you, Freki.
So with respect to the benefits of an equitable society, one of the things I'll say is this: it allows you to be your authentic self, because when the society recognizes that we are not the same or appreciates diversity, it allows you to make your own mode, walk in your own space and thrive at your own level. So it allows a woman who is in the workplace, who is a boss to be her authentic self. She does not have to display any masculinity to prove that she is a good worker. It allows her to be her authentic self. So for me, that's what an equitable society does. A lot of times when we're trying to push agendas, we have what we call the imposter syndrome, because people do not feel that they're up to par. So an equitable society allows you to be your authentic self, and therefore, thank you.
Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you. Authenticity, originality allows you to be original. You don't have to be somebody else, or act to like somebody else. So the last question, and I would want just one point. You just address a part, or you just pick one sector and address. So what recommendations do you have for the government, the private sector, the traditional rulers, the religious leaders that can help them build an equitable society that we want to see? Speak to them on how they can build an equitable society, because to get an equitable society, all hands must be on deck. So what recommendations do you have for the government, the private sector, traditional rulers, religious leaders?
You mentioned all of that, and one thing you didn't mention was a very key aspect of society, the very foundation, the family. And that is a particular set of people I want to talk to first.
Okay.
Because no matter how equitable a society is, like Vivian said, that people will want to try if they are given a fair chance. But if they don't even know that, they are capable, or they don't think they deserve those opportunities, even if you hand it to them on the platter, they won't know. So I would like to address the family unit. And, parents should raise their children, especially children with disabilities, raise them to know that they are capable and they deserve to become whatsoever they want to become. They should raise them to know that when you go out into the world, that you're as good as the next person, that as long as you work hard and put in the effort, that you are capable of achieving anything. Because when you raise a person with that mindset, when they go out into the world, they can even recognize whether the world is equitable or not. And they will know how to speak up and, demand their rights. So that is the very, I want to address that foundation, because if children are raised not to know that they deserve those opportunities, they will never take advantage of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afyong. She just spoke to the family. So like they say, charity begins at home, and the family is a very strong point for whatever we're fighting for in the society. Over to you, Vivian. What recommendations do you have for these sectors?
The sector I want to talk on is on the government. The government have a very big role to play, because policies are being made continuously. We make policies, but the best problem we always have is implementation of these policies. There are so many laws that have been enacted, like in my state, Anambra State, where we have the disability rights law. The law is already there, but the problem this law. So the government have a very big role to play. And the government should also know that government is continual. Like the law was implemented during the past regime, the present regime will now come and act like they are ignorant of the law that have been passed. So people should know, or the government or the politicians that are taking over the governmental offices should know that government is continual. You don't come in and pretend that what the other administration did is not existing because of one reason or the other. So the government should do more on implementation of these laws and policies. They have laws, they have policies. Every time you keep, and when you make policies, you keep making policies, it's just as good as nothing. So I think that the government has a very big role to play on the implementations of the laws and policies that have been made already on issues concerning equity.
Thank you so much, Vivian. Abe, over to you, please.
I will also talk about on the parts of the government. Yes, the laws and the policies are there, but when you go through those laws and policies, there is no equity in it. So there should be a call for reforms. They should go back to these laws and embrace diversity and equity. They have to go through it and restructure them again. And also, she rightly said the policies are there, but implementation is an issue. So some of these laws, they are beautiful policies actually, but getting them implemented is an issue. And they have to also be a reform to go through them and see how they can include equity in it.
All right, thank you very much. My address would go to traditional rulers this time. They are the custodian of our culture, our custom, our norms, our tradition. And if you look at the push and pull factors of equity, a lot of them are embedded in tradition. You have discrimination, you have stereotypes, you have inequality. A lot of them are embedded in culture and tradition. And so talking to the custodian of these beliefs, norms, and all wouldn't be a very bad idea. And these are opinion leaders, these are opinion makers. They help the people shape their thoughts. And so if we have kingmakers, kings, chiefs, traditionalists who embrace equity, who embrace equality, their followers, people will listen to them, people will look up to them for instructions, will have no cause, will have no reason to do otherwise. And so I'm charging them, I'm using this opportunity to charge them that seeing everybody as equal before the law and behind the law should be what they embrace in their doings, in their culture, in their tradition. A lot of these cultural beliefs are now, they are being opened up to accommodate other people. Because like I said earlier, 2 good heads are better than 1. In a society where you don't even prioritize women, or let alone we now begin to have conversations around women with disabilities, that's even another kettle of, old fish. It means that you are not opening up for development. It means that you're not opening up for peace. It means that you're not opening up for growth at your own level. And so they should begin to have these conversations in their town hall meetings, in their celebrations and all of that, ensuring that these women with disabilities, women of the minority groups, women generally are given a voice. They are given an opportunity to access this tradition, to access this culture to their own advantage, not using tradition and culture to derogate women, not using tradition and culture to instill fear and make the woman feel less of herself. Thank you.
Okay, so the major reasons why our nation is not developed is because there is no equity. Some parts of the society are not acknowledged. There is education, and there is no any recognition for them. So my advice to the government or to the nation is that every form of celebration should totally removed, and every part of the society, everyone should be acknowledged. Listen to them, let them speak, and all to give them their own constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you. Rosalind, please. I know you just joined us. Just one recommendation for either the government, traditional ruler, religious leader on how they can build an equitable society. Thank you. Please unmute.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry for that. I was really having a network issues. Okay, one of my recommendations is the government should provide a quality public goods and services that can help equalize opportunities. Opportunities are in terms of, we have human capacity, such as education, health, financial capital, and even their skills, especially women and girls with disabilities. That is the only recommendations I have for them.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. Thank you for that very, very, very interesting recommendation. Freki, please, you're next. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We've addressed most persons, so I would like to address the persons, women with disabilities. It is true that the intersection of gender and disability can increase our vulnerabilities, but it's time for us to begin to demand equity in whatever space that we have. What equity does, it gives us a voice and allows us to be women with disabilities without trying to prove that we're anything else. But you must demand for fairness and justice. It will not come to you easily or on a platter of gold. There is no assumption in the place of demanding for justice and equity and fairness. So I'm speaking to women with disabilities. Men with disabilities, feel free to jump on the bandwagon. But women with disabilities, please, it's time to begin to speak in your space and demand for fairness and justice in whatever capacities, remembering that when you are able to speak for yourself, you're not just speaking for yourself, you're speaking with 16 million women with disabilities or over 30 million persons with disabilities in Nigeria. So that is my own advice. The second group of persons I would like to speak to are people that have a lot of influence, and that is our religious leaders or faith leaders. Because when we are speaking about patriarchal societies, it doesn't even end with just the culture. Even within the religious setting, we have that where we don't have, and I know, honestly, I understand that they say leadership in these settings are autocratic. But let's also wear that human face that allows for equity and justice, that allows for fairness in a lot of spaces within the religious sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Freki. We've come to the end of today's program, and I'm sure our viewers must have enjoyed our very discussion. So while we say our last words, because this is a month for International Women's Month. Let me even call it the month to celebrate women. So I'm sure we all know the sign for this year. Last year it was break the bias. This year it is embrace equity. So let us embrace ourselves as we give our last words. Equity promotes a sustainable economy.
I say, don't be afraid to be all that you can be. Step out there, let your voice be heard. Embrace equity.
When you practice equity, you are building a woman. And when you are building a woman, you are building the nation. Thank you.
Pass the baton.
As a woman with disability, embrace yourself, love you, be you, and be authentic out there. The world needs to know you. The world needs to see you just the way you are. And you are beautiful just the way you are.
As a woman with disability, confident, and be strong. Stay away from the crowd. Please come out. I want to hear your voice. Thank you.
Do not have a low self-esteem. Always be bold and embrace equity, because equity means justice. Thank you.
Woman with disability. You are you. Nobody else is like you. So speak up, show up, be authentic, and the world will respond. Equity makes room for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. See you next week, Saturday, same station, same time next week. Do have a splendid Saturday. Bye.
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 Bye.